Uh, hmm. I need to get the rust off my axe. So I'm going to be spending this time sharpening and decorroding my axe until people start existing. Actually, I think I did a good job of decorroding it yesterday. Except for right here. Okay. At the very least, I need to find my WD-40 can. Turns out chopping a lot of wet wood rusts your blades like way faster. Who'd have thought? Well, I mean, you're supposed to take care of your like axes and everything, keep them oiled up, not only to keep them from rusting, but to make it easier to pull them out of the wood whenever you try to split it. It's a cute little trick. Keep a little can of WD-40 beside you while you're splitting wood to spray the head of the axe, and it won't get stuck as easy. Uh, I went out hiking today. My coworkers apparently needed me, but I was not in an area of any service and I was unable to see their pleas for help. And I feel very bad for it actually because I usually like covering for them and helping them because I feel like they don't like me or respect me, so I try to actually help them where I can. Today I decided to go out and hike. If I had only known they were going to be suffering today, I would have skipped the hiking trip, I guess, but you know, we can't know everything. Oh, I am sharpening my axe. I also got a new haircut. I got a Viking like mohawk, and my wife did a dragon braid. I think it's cool. What type is it? This axe? It's Northman's Guild. It's like Swedish or Norwegian. It's basically just a hatchet used for like kindling and stuff like that, but it's in like a similar Viking style with modern handle and a couple of additions of metal on the head to basically make it useful for actually being a hatchet and not just cleaving humans, you know. Plus, I chop a lot of wood, and a lot of it's fucking green because it's easier to chop green hardwood than it is to chop seasoned hardwood. So most of the time that I'm chopping, I need to like oil my heads of my blades, and I don't always do that when I should, so they get rusty, and I have to unrust them and make them shine again. Ching ching. Sure. Chop down a tree. Yeah, I felled like a lot of trees. Felling trees aren't really hard. It's easier with the chainsaw, obviously, but if you use a felling axe, it just takes longer and you have to know what you're doing to properly do it so that you can make the front cut and back cut so it falls where you want it to. But I mean, yeah, I've felled probably at least 200 trees in my lifetime, I would guess. I'm 33 now, so probably a couple hundred, probably. Yeah. I don't really fell them here anymore because the way Ohio has their wood collecting permit, you're not allowed to chop the tree down unless you ask the property owner, claim it, and make sure it's not protected or whatever, and all that crap. I don't care for all that. I just wait for the tree to fall down, and then I go collect the tree. It's actually easier that way because a lot of hardwoods like oak, black walnut, and maple will fall on their own, and you can carry their fat asses out of the woods and have plenty of wood, and you don't have to, get any special permission. You just need a wood collecting permit. So that's what I do now, but I've chopped down a few. It's not hard. You just got to know what you're doing. You basically make a front cut you make a bottom, the other cut this way. So you take like a triangular piece out and then you cut the back of it so that it goes that way, essentially. It's pretty simple cutting trees now. Not that hard. What's really hard is like doing woodwork, like actually making furniture and shit out of wood. That takes skill. The like cutting trees, chopping wood, that just takes practice and plenty of anger and intention to do shit that you probably don't want to do. Sorry, my son likes to help me with this axe, making kindling, and sometimes he puts the wood on the driveway and chips away at the head right here. So I have to kind of correct. He's made a few chip marks into it. Welcome to the chat, y'all, by the way. I didn't realize I just started chatting about cutting trees, but I have an attention deficit problem. I went hiking today. My coworkers apparently got screwed in the process because apparently they needed me today, but it was my day off and I went hiking. And usually when I go hiking, I don't really service in the woods. And apparently they were struggling and needed my help today, and I actually feel bad about it. No, no, I've never heard of that. It's a meme. Probably. I don't know. When you talk about certain things, I am 33, so I'm possibly able to know what you're talking about, but also I'm not a normal 33-year-old. I do more old-timey shit because I was raised by grandparents and I like living like an old-fashioned rural life, so I don't really get into memes and shit too much. I do like shows that like, people are familiar with in this day and age, but I don't really watch TV all day. I save TV and like videos and stuff for like my nighttime whenever I'm relaxing and shit. During the day, I try to keep my hands busy because I used to be really bad on drugs and alcohol, and I like to stay off of them. And the best way to do that is to find something to keep my hands busy. So I'm not usually hanging around my phone, which is also why I wasn't able to hear my coworkers suffering today, apparently. I feel bad about it, but there was really nothing I could do. I was out in the forest, way away from any service because I'm cheap and I always get track phones. I don't really try to buy service plans or iPhones or anything like that. I'm a cheap bastard. You don't keep having money by spending it, and I don't like spending my money on technology. I spend it on like hatchets and axes and cool shit that I can actually use with my hands. So, not a technology guy. I wouldn't probably know the memes that you're speaking of. Landon Huntley is doing something weird. Do I like camping? Yeah, I love camping. Camping is something I grew up doing, and I want to get my kids and family into. Me and my wife love camping. We've been camping with most of our relationship. Dude, I'm gonna have to get used to this haircut because I keep thinking that something's like yanking on my hair, and it's just my shoulder. Yeah. There's the finished product. She is still a bit rusty, still a bit rustic looking, but I have sharpened her back up and gotten the chip off of the tip of the blade. So I have finished my job. I shall put her back in her sheath. Cheers to anybody that smokes weed. Now all I have to do is sharpen Mjolnir over here. Jesus Christ. Look at this big bitch. This thing is Amish as fuck. It is old, ancient, heavy. It is rusted as fuck. If fuck is rusty, then this is rusty as fuck. This is a 12-pound splitting maul on a short ass pipe. I like longer freaking like handles that like absorb the shock. This does not absorb any shock. It puts all the shock back into your hands, and it's a 12-pound splitting maul, and I call it Mjolnir. And I'm gonna have to derust this bitch too, so I might as well do it. It's gonna look way better when I'm done. Old fashioned. This would be way faster with a grinder. This would be way faster with pretty much anything, but I like the old fashioned one. Half the people coming on here have no clue what the fuck I'm doing. I am sharpening a 12-pound maul. It's heavy. Piece of shit, too. It's really only good for splitting that really hard to split piece of hardwood that's really low to the ground and easy to like hit. If it's like a really tall piece or stump that you're trying to cut onto or get, this thing is not going to be your friend because you're going to tire yourself out trying to lift the bitch over your head multiple times. I prefer to use a 7-pound splitting maul. This is 12 pounds. This is built for like them big old buffy fucking fat boys on farms and shit that can lift shit like it's nothing. I am not one of those people. I am 6'1", but I am on the skinnier side, and I admit my plight in life that I am not going to be able to lift a 12-pound splitting maul and swing it all day and not get tired. It's just not reality. Well, at least I'm getting the head of it better. See, look, the head's starting to become less corroded. I got to get the metal off and then sharpen it. It's going to be a pain in the ass. This bitch is heavy. Look, the head is 12 pounds. I don't know how much the fucking bar is, but I assume also pretty fucking heavy. The Amish are built different, dude. They just are. They are a type of people that will keep even if their kidneys are failing. You know. You have a question. Have I seen a bear in person? Yes, I have. I actually almost got killed by a black bear mother trying to protect her cubs because I was a kid running out in the field and I decided to take my little scrawny ass out there and go see the baby bears and pet them. And they were having fun with me. They were cute. But then mama came around the corner and tried to kill me, and my mom had to take a 12 gauge to her leg. Didn't kill her, and it had like bird shot in it, so it just kind of like peppered her and like hurt her a little bit. And I managed to get inside, and she tore through our back door, and we managed to get humane society out there to put a dart in her ass and put her to bed, and then they relocated her away from people so that she wouldn't attack any more people, protecting her cubs. Her cubs were fine. She was fine, and she went on with her life. She didn't even need surgery. Skin literally pushed out the freaking bird shot that she got shot with like it was like a mild splinter. I don't think people realize how thick bears' pelts are. They you need a pretty high caliber gun just to kill them, and if you do, you'll get in trouble if you just kill a random bear and it's not trying to kill you. Self defense only goes so far. My mom was defending me. She didn't get in trouble. That's the closest I ever got to a bear because I was petting two bear cubs. And then a mama black bear came around the corner and wanted to tear my ass up like a fucking dog chewing up a ferret. Like, would have too. I was a scrawny little kid. She would have tore my ass to pieces. Thomas, have a question for me. Hey, Loma. Loma, yes. Welcome, Loma. Sorry, I keep trying to call you Lorna because the M looks like an R and an N, so it looks like Lorna to me because I'm blind, but I see Loma, not Lorna. See, so that's why. Please forgive me for that. I've seen you on here a couple times. I just keep. Oh, I'm sharpening this. I've already sharpened this and put it away, and now I'm trying to sharpen this 12-pound splitting maul. It's an Amish splitting maul, which means it has a tiny pipe on it. Like the pipe's not even like 3 foot. Like, I don't know how to describe it, but it's basically a really short-handled 12-pound maul, and it's really rusted, and I need to get it sharp enough to where I can actually split some wood with it. Because my buddy Mark, you guys probably seen on one of the lives, he said it was sharp. It is not. It is not sharp at all. In fact, it is unsharp. How long have I been a homosexual? I have never been a homosexual, sir. But I will say the lifestyle of homosexual sounds nice besides the butt bucking. You know? Like, I would love to live in a nice house. I would like to have a lot of money. I would like to eat really nice, fancy food and stuff like that. That would all sound cool. But once it got to the bucking part, couldn't do it. So, to all respect to the gay people, you are very, wealthy, well taken care of, well groomed, well cleaned, and classy people. But the bucking, I just don't get down with. I just don't really. They stay in shape too. Yeah. I know a lot. I'm from Myrtle Beach, so I actually know like gay people, not just the stereotypical "hey, hey, hey" gay kind of people. Like the actual big ass bodybuilder, used to be Marine ass motherfucker, like huge, like strong ass gay people that like treat masculinity like it's a code of honor. You know what I mean? I to gay people, and I respect them all, but I'm straight. I like pale skinned, freckly Irish women with big butts. That is my favorite type of female, and I married one, so I'm a happy man. That is my type. I like my Celtic goddesses. They have anger problems, but it's easy to work through. Pure good found. Oh, food joy. Shit. I'm blind, y'all. I can't see shit. Well, to everybody that's new on here, I was sharpening this and derusting this. I sharpened and derusted it. It is nice now. It is able to cut and it is good, but now I am trying to derust and sharpen this fucking 12-pound splitting maul, which is fucking ridiculously heavy. You can see like where the metal is looking like metal now instead of rust, where I am sharpening it. And I am going to have to go all the way up the head of this heavy bitch. I don't like it. And it's got a metal pole. Like every time you swing this bitch, all the reverb goes right back into your hands, and it feels like you've been electrocuted by the time you're done swinging it. Like your hands are like tingling and like barely working. I hate the reverb that you get from really shitty handles. And this is a shitty hand. Sharpening my axes. We all got to get ready, don't we? War, war, war. I'm kidding. I hope no war happens. I hope that, everybody behaves themselves. People love war, though. It's stupid. There's a primal thing inside of all of us that wants some kind of like bloodlust satisfied. And we don't admit that about ourselves because it makes us sound brutal, savage, and uncivilized. But every human, doesn't matter what skin color or culture they have, are brutal and horribly uncivilized. Like, what is the term civil? You know, we're, we're barbaric, every single one of us. We just don't want to admit it. Beautiful. This is going to take me all day. If I had a grinder, it would be way faster. Somebody made a statement. Oh, somebody made a gay statement. Ivy, it's time for bed. You got school tomorrow. Good night. Courtney is asleep on the bed. She is tired. She worked a full shift today. And she still went out and we had Japanese food. We went hiking. We Well, I went hiking way earlier today, and she got involved later, and the kids got involved later, and yeah, we had a good day. But she is tired and she is sleeping, and I don't blame her. See, the problem with this mall is that it also has a place where somebody struck it very violently against some rock right there, where it's chipped at the front, right there. See that? That's gonna take a grinder. I don't think I'm gonna be able to hand smooth this shit out tonight, though I can try. You know what's funny about living in a small town and not being from a small town is that the people in a small town, they think that everybody from the city just doesn't know how to do chores and physical labor activities. Even though that's not entirely true. People in the city build shit all the time. You just don't see them half the time because they're fucking at work. You know? Not everybody's got a cozy office job. Some people got to build that shit. That was. But I'm still from the city. And they think that, I'm not a farmer. I'm not a. Actually, I was a farmer because outside of that city that I lived in, we had a hog farm because I lived in South Carolina. And I don't know. What I'm getting at is that small town people think that, people from the city either bring drama, trouble, or are weak and incompetent, and none of those things are true. Just like people from the city think that people that are in rural towns are stupid, uneducated, and have no sense of class or like understanding of other cultures, which is also not true. Everybody might come from different places and speak in different tongues, but our hearts beat as one, you know? Takes all kinds to make the world go round. Remember that. This maul is not going to sharpen easily, though I will derust it to the best of my ability. Pretty. It's interesting watching, like, if you actually have sharpened anything before, like, how the technique that you use actually molds the blade slowly but surely. And if you don't know what you're doing, you can not only fuck up the edge, you can blunt the edge entirely if you try. Like if you actually take this and go over the edge instead of sharpening it on the sides and try to, go over the top of it, you do that long enough, you're going to dull that down to a nub to where it's no longer going to be a point. Metal, even though it's very strong, is also very malleable. That's why we pick stronger stones than this steel that we're fucking trying to grind. I don't think people understand like the difference of like stone densities, like how dense granite is comparatively to quartz and so on and so forth. You know, I think most people think that metal's like the strongest thing that there is out there and that everything else is weaker than it, and it's not the case. Actually, metal comes from rock. Metal is a rock. It's just a type of rock. People haven't been talking too much except weird shit, but I am sharpening my 12-pound maul. And I am trying to put an edge on the bitch because it is rusted as fuck. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. And I'm hand doing it. So that's what you keep hearing me scraping. Mm. I'm also trying to drink Mountain Dew at the same time. I'm running out. I should have sent my daughter to grab me more Mountain Dew before she went to bed. That's fine. We are creating thinking electronic rock alien dual cyber jerk too. Interesting. Pork milk? Interesting. Sounds like it'll be easier for people to get hard. Ha. 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 By the way, welcome. Pork milk. Uh oh. My wife's alarm's going off and she's awakening. AI Japanese anime. Hey, Mama. Could I ask you the biggest flavor in the world? Since you have now awoken, would you mind getting me a Mountain Dew? Because you have to retrieve your phone from the daughter so she can sleep. She won't go to sleep as long as she has your phone. This maul, whoever sharpened it, with all love and respect, Mark and whoever may also be related to him, did a terrible fucking job at the brunt point of this. Because see, this is like a nub. I can literally rub my finger on the top of this and it feels rounded. Like they just rounded that bitch off, or they just hammered it onto something and destroyed it. But either way, it's gonna take some love to undo that blunt edge that they have created. And I don't think me sitting here for hours on end with a hand stone is going to do much about that. But we can fucking try. I don't think people realize how basic I really am. I enjoy doing farm. That's what I enjoy doing. I like being out in nature and keeping my hands busy out in nature. That makes me happy. That brings me peace. I'm a very basic person. I will do complex things to make money, but it's not because I'm doing that for joy or some kind of fame or some kind of respect. I was winning Mountain Dew. That is my food on the ground. I don't know what that is. No, I didn't. I'm sorry. It just genuinely confused me when you handed me a thing of Japanese food. I was like, what? Mountain Dew. What is my favorite movie? I don't have a favorite movie. I have a favorite. I fell off a boat trying to poop yesterday. That sounds terrible. It sounds like you were trying to squat off the edge of a boat and fell into the water. It sucks. It sounds like it sucks. My favorite movie though. I don't have one. I like Silence of the Lambs. I watch TV shows and stuff. Like I'll watch like historical reenactments of like old situations and shit, but each person puts their own spin on it and kind of makes it historically inaccurate, and I don't really like to watch. Swaying of the boat before you fell. It's just like, ah. Well, at least you got your ass clean. I mean, you were at least able to like shake your tail around in the water and get some of those turd bits off of you. You know, it's easier to wipe with moisture than it is to wipe with a dry like toilet paper. I've always wondered why people use dry toilet paper to wipe their ass and smear shit across their ass crack instead of actually using wet wipes to clean their ass. Like if you got poo on your fingers, you wouldn't just use a dry paper towel to wipe it off, would you? Like that's my argument is that it wasn't too bad for you because you fell into the water. So just an idea. Just saying, like if you shat on your fingers or your hands trying to wipe your ass, right? And you had to clean that off, are you going to wash your hands and clean them? Or are you going to use a dry paper towel and just wipe it off? If so, that's how disgusting you're treating your posterior if you're only using dry paper towels. It's easy to, lean over the sink and wet the paper towel and wipe your ass with it. It makes your ass cleaner. Just an idea. Wet wipes, too. They have flushable wet wipes. So, if I'm teaching you anything today, dry toilet paper is not cleaning your asshole any more than wiping shit off your hands with a paper towel would. That's why bidets are a thing. I don't have a bidet. No, do not. What have I done during this? What have I done during the summer? What have I done? I have. Oh, I got a new Viking like haircut. I used to have long hair, and now I got the fucking. My wife did a dragon braid in the back. I've been getting into Viking culture lately. Hence the, you know, axe. But no, I just been hiking, chopping wood, working. Hiking, chopping wood, working. Jesus is the same today, yesterday, and forever. Yeah, because he's dead. But also the, sacrifice for the sins and the caring for the, meek and bringing, God's people into his graces once more. It's a good thing. I'm not putting Jesus down. Just also, it's hard not to be what you are if you are forever the same as you were the day you died. So I think everyone could also be that. I think we're all what we are today, yesterday, and tomorrow. We just, our bodies change, our souls don't. So we may say so. Ugh. Everything inside us stays the same, but everything on the outside changes forever. Oh, thank you. I got it inspired by, what was it? Ragnar, Bjorn, Uba, King Harold from the Vikings show, a few other people. Like it's just Celtic. It's just a Celtic mohawk. I'm gonna get these shaved off. I'm gonna get the rest of the hair like actually shaved off. I only had it like cut down low, but I'm gonna shave it off to the skin, and I'm gonna have Hugin and Muden on either side of my head, signifying thought and memory for Odin's crows. I'm gonna get into Nordic shit, and I've always liked theology. I've studied it for my entire life, and I think I've gone through enough cultures to say that I would die well knowing that I put Hugin and Munin on the side of my head, signifying thought and memory. There's some wisdom in the Nordic tales, about honor and the way you live and how you die and how every choice you make weaves your fate into a form of finality, I guess. Yeah, yeah, there's a lot you can learn from the Nordic culture. I seem to like it. I just like nature. I like chopping wood and shit, and I think having cool ass tattoos on the side of my head, old Celtic braids while chopping wood with axes and screaming at wood that I'm chopping, I think it would be a good look. Oh yeah, he was killed, and I'm disgusted by how they treated Charlie Kirk. You may not agree with him. I mean, I didn't agree with everything he said. I thought he had a lot of common sense and he was very calm, witty, and tried to be respectful about how he delivered his opinions that we may not agree with. But he was exercising freedom of speech, something Americans are supposed to stand for and believe for. And there's people acting like absolute children, laughing at his death, mocking his death. He was a father. He was a wonderful person, and he spoke for what he believed in, and he was killed for it in cold blood. And I hope that the people that did it, person that did it, or anybody that mocked him for it, pays for their crimes because it is a crime to do that, for sure. We don't really speak ill of the dead. It's a sense of honor that's died off, but I still stand by it, and I think that Sir Charlie Kirk will rest in peace. He may not be a sir, but I'm just calling him a sir for the sake of honor. Um, let's just say he was wrongly killed and a good man, and it's a sad thing that happened to him. People may say otherwise. I really don't care. I'm an American, but my father was German and my mother was German. I'm not exactly 100% like, you know, the most patriotic person in the world, but I can tell you that freedom of speech is one of the most important things that we have in this country right now. And if people can just kill each other for not agreeing with each other, we've just into madness. Like, agree with the man or not, he was wrongly killed, and in my eyes, he was a good man. Oh, I've hunted a few. I've a lot of bucks, a lot of boars. We went, you know, turkey hunting and quail hunting and other things too, with smaller rounds of ammunition and shit. But yeah, I've been hunting. I don't do it anymore because I am trying to live old school and I'm not really good. I'm not really a good shot. I can barely see your guys' text, let alone, you know, shoot correctly. So, be right back, Tommy. Just running to the corner store. All right, brother. You see you in a minute. Be careful. Do I have a dog? Yes. Her fat ass is over there about to flop on the floor. Hopefully we can catch it. Wait. Sorry. I throw soda bottles on my floor like a piece of trash because I am a piece of trash. That's my old dog. She is scratching and rolling around on the floor. She is 16 years old and fat as hell. And yes, you saw Mountain Dew cans on my floor. I live like shit, but my wife cleans up after me. She's just currently asleep. When I'm done with my Mountain Dew cans, I'll literally just toss them to the floor. But when I get up, I'll put them in a bag and throw them away. I don't know why I'm describing or explaining myself, but yeah, I throw soda cans on the floor when I'm done with them. I'm like, done. I'm like a child that my wife has to keep cleaning up after. That's why she's so mean to me. That's why she always like makes fun of me and puts me on blast because I'm kind of a lazy turd when I get home. There's plenty of end time prophecies happening in the world right now. People have prophesized doom since the dawn of existence. What we need to understand is that, just like Revelation says, and just like any other prophecy has ever told us, is that death brings new beginning. We need to look towards what is positive in the end times. What are we clinging to? What are we hoping for? What was it all for? And if we put our faith in our hearts and our actions into something righteous, good, caring, loving, and of good fruit, typically bears good fruit, but people that do wrong and suffer by their own actions are going to pay the retribution. And in the ashes of their defeat will grow new life and beauty that God promises after everything is dealt with. You have a question. You keep deleting your messages unless somebody else keeps retracting them. I'm not sure how. It's weird. But yes, I might have an answer. I'm not really. I hold Christian values, but I do not put myself. I do not nail myself to any faith, whether it be Hindu, Buddhism, Christianity, whatever sect of Protestant or Catholicism or Orthodox or Judaism. I definitely don't subscribe to Islam. I don't hate people. I don't hate people. I just hate ideologies that bring about rot, and that one does. And I'm not really a religious person, but I respect people to believe what they want. And I may not believe what you have to say, but I'll fight to the death for your right to say it if that's the best thing I can put out there. Yeah. I keep missing. I keep messing up. What breed is my dog? Oh, she is a German Shepherd Pit Bull mix. She is 16 years old, so she's got like she's basically just look up a Pit Bull German Shepherd mix and you'll see the young version of what you just looked at. I have shitty like my phone has shitty cameras. I forgot I was sharpening an axe. Heavy bitch. I'm gonna be sharpening this bitch all night. And tomorrow, I hope that my coworkers aren't gonna try to use the fact that I feel bad for the fact that they needed my help today to take away my family day because my wife is off tomorrow. And I'm going to spend time with my family. I actually do a lot for the company that I work for. There's a few things that I need to work on. Nobody's perfect, but I have and will go out of my way for my coworkers. But I'm not one for being gaslit into feeling bad for somebody's misfortune. I guess I help people with their misfortune if I can. A couple of my coworkers, that were also managers, had things in their life that needed to be dealt with, and I, I did take care. We're a team. That's what we do. But because recently I also fell sick and asked somebody to cover for me, I think that they're trying to pull a few things out their butt. Maybe I'm not sure if they're upset with me, but I was literally hiking today and I missed all their calls, and I do feel bad, but I do also kind of smell a little bit of deception going on where I'm like, just because I will doesn't mean it's going to become a commonplace thing. Let me read a few things before that. Hmm. I have a cat and she's naughty as hell. Last time she scratched my eye and then eyeball started bleeding. I told my car, your cat. Sorry, I thought I said car. My screen's fucked up. My eyes are fucked up. Oh, you said fuck you, you little bitch. Like, hey, yeah, cats are assholes. They are. They really are. But we love them because they got cute little faces. Many people don't understand the supernatural power of God. A lot of people don't even know the difference between being baptized in water and being baptized in the Holy Spirit. Well, yes, the experience of clinging oneself to one's beliefs and faith, it is an immersion, it is an experience. Call me doubting Thomas. I've just always wanted to look at the bigger picture and not just look at one culture's I say so, so it so's, if that makes sense. No disrespect to Christ and the lovely history of Judaism and the Abrahamic law and, his sacrifice of Christ and everything. All these things are beautiful, poetic, quaint, and very helpful for people that find themselves lost in life. But I don't feel so lost. I have a wonderful family. I have a beautiful life. I've pulled myself out of terrible drug addiction and gotten myself into a place in life. Quit biting your butt. Sorry, my dog was biting her butt. Um, I've done enough to and good, and I take the words of Christ as closely to heart as I do the words of Buddha. I see the wisdom therein, and I use it to become a better person so that whatever I leave behind is good for this world, and the world is better for it and not poorer for it. But I don't cling to a faith and hold it like a badge. I am truly humbled by humanity's experience and life itself, and whatever God, whatever creator, this is, and whatever made this, without the pontifications of man, without scribes writing down lies and playing games of telephone, life itself is a thing, and I am proud to become a part of it, the good and the bad. I was supernaturally set free from addictions and with no withdrawals with the power of the Holy Spirit. Well, I'm glad you had that, my brother. I'm gonna quit like sounding like a politician here. The words of Christ, the teachings of Christianity, the wisdom therein, bar none, is wonderful and great for people. But I've always been a very curious man, and I know that Judaism is not the oldest religion, and therefore means that humans have different cultures of what they call God and the wisdom therein, and we all have been around for a very, very, very long time, and humanity has struggled with its barbarism, its demons, its terribleness. Like, I think the span and scope of this is way bigger than the Bible, way bigger than the Quran, way bigger than the Bhagavad Gita, way bigger than the Sumerian culture, way bigger than the any culture that you can reach back as far as you fucking can, all the way up to the future. We still got a long way to go. People can use things to their advantage and perverse things, and I try to keep my eye on the bigger picture instead of just paying attention to finite detail. I'm not saying that Christianity is bad. I'm just saying it's not the only fruit that I partake in this beautiful world. Because Jesus is the only one who performed miracles and wonders as his own authority and dead under his own authority. I would hate to introduce you to Thoth of the Egyptian culture. It's just as much, here's historical evidence of his existence. I'm not putting it down. I'm just saying that many people believe in many things. I'm not putting down Christ. I'm not putting down any of these religions. I'm just saying that I hold them to equal regard because there's wisdom within them all. And there's something bigger. There's a bigger picture. There's something deeper that words cannot describe, that only the existence and the breath that we have to take to enjoy this existence and witness it unfold. There's something deeper than any of these religions and any of these sects of beliefs could ever come close to, I guess. There's a depth of existence that is deeper than just speaking and living in accordance to ancient laws. Life itself is now. It wasn't then. It's not tomorrow. Life is now. And finding out how to live truly in the present moment very skillfully is, I think, the only thing that we're meant to do is just to enjoy existence. I think our exact purpose is to admire the existence that was made for us. Whatever name we give these deities is hog shit to me. The admiration of the existence is the point. It's the point I'm making. You don't dare goodnight me. People have believed Jesus is coming back for 2 centuries, Jackson. Oh, yeah. I'm not meaning you, Thomas, just Julian in the chat. I like Julian. I like Oak. He's cool. No, we're all, oh, I know. Yeah, I know. Like, don't you dare goodnight me. Yeah, I know. I'm not thinking that there's a squall. But I don't know. I'm just call me Doubting Thomas, and if you are truly a man of faith, you know exactly what I mean by Doubting Thomas. I keep searching for more. I'm one of those kids that can't go to sleep because I haven't experienced enough in my day kind of person. That's the way I see faith. I have nothing against Christianity. I do have something against Islam. I'm not going to get into it. I just don't like pedophiles and fake warlords and people that support that kind of behavior of treating women like garbage. Uh, just call me old fashioned. New fashioned, technically. We've been treating women like shit for a while. You have a question to ask. I might have an answer, my friend. Why were you offended by me saying goodnight? No offense indeed. No offense intended. Go home. Go home. What? If you have a supernatural experience with Jesus right now and he told you that he loves you very much and shared something very special to you, would you no longer search for more? Well, I think I would search in the name of Jesus if something were to be miraculous enough for me. I'm not saying that I haven't had miracles in my life. I have heard the voice of God. I have felt the touch in my soul, deep within my soul. I was going through some hard times when I was very young as a teenager, and I found Christ. I went through that experience and I found the beauty and wisdom therein. But I also realized that God wants us to be fruitful. He wants us to spread our knowledge, to understand others, and show the wisdom and kindness and caring of the gospel, and so on and so forth. So I got into theology and I learned to expand my horizons and understand things in a more complex fashion. If I nail myself to my creed and my culture, then I am not able to move past those chains, if that makes sense. I'm willing to have my soul shredded to thunder to find answers. Call it the wisdom of Odin. Call it pride. Call it just curiosity. But I'm willing to be frayed into nothing and exist as nothing ever were and have my soul shred asunder just to find out the answers of why we're here. What's the point of it all and everything. I'm a very curious man. My favorite cartoons. I don't really watch cartoons too much besides we listen to Adventure Time going to sleep. I grew up watching Looney Tunes and shit. Like I don't have a favorite anything. That's part of why I don't claim a faith or claim a mentality or a political stance or anything because I like to look at things from all sides. I don't like to bound myself to a finite factuality, ideology, or anything like that. I try to get a taste of everything. Just like I say, I don't hate country music. I listen to it. I listen to rap. I listen to rock and roll. I listen to all kinds of different like new genres that have come out that could barely even be called a genre because it's hard to pinpoint them. Look up Grim Salvo. That's a good example of hard to pinpoint what that genre is. You know, I like to partake in life like it's food. I like experiencing new things. And don't tell me to go home. I'm already there. I love Oak. No, I don't know who or what's going on. Wait. Uh, Looney Tunes are cool. Uh, yeah, they have a real life version of it and all that. There's a lot of. I need to find a lighter. Sorry, guys. I have lost my lighter, and I think Courtney took the other one, maybe? I have a knife. You are a knife. Lighter, why hast thou forsaken me? I found a Phillips head screwdriver, but no lighter. I found a whole ass rock. I don't even, it's a river rock. I found a whole ass river rock. But No lighter. Lighter. Here. I swear I had it in this chair. I was just bitching that I couldn't find it. Sorry. Phillips head. Knife. Ever listen to post rock? Yeah. Yeah, a little bit. I gotta be honest, growing up with my grandparents and stuff, I went through a lot of gospel music, a lot of bluegrass and stuff because they were Catholic and then they became Baptist and then they became Methodist and then they became everything under the sun. They just kept jumping religions, and I think that might have inspired my understanding of different people's understandings of the world. And then I got into theology and everything. I got into Buddhist culture. I got into Hindu culture, and then self-contradictory things, a lot of violence, a lot of um, pedophilia unacceptables. My part that I cannot accept about Muhammad because of pedophile. I don't like those people. So that kind of threw me away from that. Got, my mom's from Yemen, so I, obviously got into the Hebrew culture as well, which is really just a precursor to Christianity. They don't like to hear it, but it's true, you know. Actually, most Abrahamic beliefs pretty much are all one and the same. They just have different sects that branch off and fight and separate and change their ideals as time goes on. And here we are. Good example. This will destroy you. Jackson Thomas streams randomly. I enjoy. What? Yeah, I like learning about different cultures. I used to study a lot about Papua New Guinea. I used to study a lot about, since I was into Christianity, I went all over Christian, like Orthodox, like into Ethiopia, like the origins of everything. I went through the Book of Enoch. I went through Kabbalah. I've went into different cults and stuff so that I could learn about the occult and everything, what occulted knowledge actually meant, and you know, went through many different spiritual practices that also involved hallucinogens and many other things that took me down roads that I would rather not go back to, but they have given me perspective. And I love culture. That's why I'm wearing this whole frickin' dragon braid thing right now. Right now, the Vikings intrigue me. People say that the Vikings, the Scandinavian people, let's just say the Dutch, the Swedes, and the Norwegians, they were the Viking people. And they wrote a lot more. They had a lot more art. They had a lot more to their culture than people like to admit. Yes, they had barbaristic tendencies and stuff, but they had a class system. There's a lot to their culture, and I'm starting to study it. I'm starting to understand the complexity of human rage and where it comes from every culture. I want to understand their rage so I can understand their peace, if that makes sense. You need to understand the darkest points of people's perception so that you can understand the brightest points and where to meet in the middle with them, with your beliefs, whatever you may believe in. I just want to watch your streams on the weekend. Just wondering if he ever does. I enjoy learning. But wait. Oh, my streams on the weekend. This is kind of my weekend. During the weekends, I am working. During the week beginnings, or my weekends, because I don't really follow the calendar like normal people do. I'm usually off on Tuesdays. Sometimes I'm off on Fridays, but today I'm off Monday, which was kind of yesterday now, probably. I'm not sure. And Tuesday. So, yeah, this is my weekend. Oh, well, I think people that there's a lot of Christian culture that is not just other people stand for what you're saying, like all this trans movements getting people to change themselves just because they're accepting like a different culture, people shooting each other and killing each other for no reason. like people turning away from the family unit. The family unit's important. It was important to the Viking people, by the way. Though there were poly relationships throughout that area, not all of them engaged in that. Most people actually tried to keep one, lady and one father and make a legacy, that kind of shit. There's a lot of stuff that people only embellish in the past because some people have done wrongdoings. It's like me saying that the Spanish Inquisition and the Crusaders and everything that was done in medieval Europe is an example of how Christians really are. That would be a poor example. It's not true whatsoever. There are good Christian people, there's bad Christian people. Every culture has their shitty people and their good people, and you got to meet in the middle. And I like studying different cultures because you get to find out that it's really just human nature. You get to find out that no matter what culture you look at, what angle you look at it at, it's just humans being humans in very odd and different, intricate, and interesting ways. Every time a human's born, it's a slap in the face of the devil. Well, I like to think that way. A lot of people would think that the gods were mad at them, like in Norse culture. They would think that the gods were mad at them, they did something wrong because life is important, life is sacred. Life is sacred since the dawn of time, way before even Judaism ever came to rot. Let's just say before any Abrahamic mention of anything whatsoever, ever, ever, people thought life was sacred. Just putting it out there. Life is sacred. Doesn't matter what culture you hail from and what religious or cultural jargon you wish to spread, ideology, politics, whatever. Life is sacred. And people that don't think life is sacred are evil, wicked people. When you call it wicked, you call it evil, you call it whatever you want. You could just say that it goes against the natural order of things. There is a natural order. And from Christians to pagans to Buddhists to Hindus, whatever you choose to look at, life is sacred. And there is a natural order to things. And some people don't like change. Some people don't like different cultures. They don't like adapting to new things, I guess. The Meditations of Marcus Aurelius. It is an excellent book. I like to read about Epictetus. Epictetus was a wonderful. He was a slave turned advisor to the Roman emperor. That's a pretty big fucking step. Maybe not Roman. I might be wrong. Culture might be wrong, but was a slave turned an advisor to an emperor, essentially. Oh yeah, every life does matter. Even Jesus said that the Gentiles have their place in the world to care for the chaff and the weak, or care for the and the weak, for even the chaff have their place, and so on and so forth. Even Christ, though the followers don't always follow this, was understanding of different cultures and other people's reasonings and beliefs. Peace is the point. It's finding an end to the barbaristic tendencies of humanity and finding out how to live in peace and cooperate with each other. My phone is dying, y'all. I did not realize it, so I'm going to have to cut this short. I've been on here for an hour. It was nice talking to you guys. I'm going to have to take my happy ass to bed and plug this phone in because that's the only place I had to plug the phone in. Maybe. I might have another charger. I'm not sure. I don't think I do. But thank you guys for chatting. It was wonderful. I don't know if you guys hear me now. It's kind of on a delay, maybe. Not sure. But my phone is at 5%. The screen just got darker and it's like telling me that I gotta hurry up or it's gonna kick me off. So thank you guys for chatting with me. It was nice seeing you guys, and I hope I didn't just rant all night about religion, but I probably did. Um, it's always nice seeing you guys, and thank you for stopping by. I will see you again. Much love to you all. I'll probably go live tomorrow because I'm also off with Courtney, so we might go out and do something cool in the, outside. Even though his name means purchased one, uh, nothing, nothing has slave beginnings. Yeah, his whole like main. Oh, thank you. But frickin' Epictetus before I go because my phone might shut off. Uh, he said it's not what happens in life, it's how you respond that shows who you are or your character or whatever. And it's I love Epictetus. Epictetus is a wonderful Stoic philosopher as well. Marcus Aurelius, though, definitely has a lot of wisdom as well. So does Tao. A lot of people do. There's so many people to derive wisdom from. It's like trying new food. Life can be bitter, sweet, delicious. There's 5 different flavor profiles.